So now, let's talk about the education technology tools, no? So ano yung mga tools na kailangan natin, okay? Na gagamitin natin, guys, for our online teaching. Okay? So, number one, guys, is we need an LMS. Okay? A learning management system. Maraming mga LMS ngayon, guys, no? Pero ang i-share ko sa inyo ay mga libre, no? Syempre, yung mga free, no? So, majority of here is free to use na pwede nyo gamitin. So, number one, and I think this is the most preferred LMS, is the Google Classroom. Bakit siya most preferred? Because number one, it's easy to use and learn. And number two, it has easy integration with other Google products such as Google Forms, Google Drive, and YouTube. Okay? And yung sign-up procedure dito is very easy. You just need to have a Gmail account and pwede mo na siyang gamitin. However, I would like to also introduce to you another LMS that if you are free to use, kung sa inyong mga schools ay meron kayong liberty to select an LMS, I highly suggest that you try the Canvas Free for Teachers. So, Canvas is a known LMS na ginagamit ng mga big universities. Okay? Kaya lang sa kanila hindi free, no? So this one, yung Canvas Free for Teachers, it's a product of the same makers nung Canvas na ginagamit dun sa mga big schools, big universities. Pero ito, libre. Ang difference lang is, this one, you cannot put a branding. You cannot put your school here. Like, for instance, ilalagay mo yung logo ng school nyo, hindi pwede, hindi possible. So, nakalagay lang talaga Canvas Free for Teachers. Okay? Pero all the things that you can do in the Canvas na meron yung LMS na ginagamit ng ibang school, nandito lahat ang feature. So, gusto ko ang Canvas because it has a very good quiz engine for assessments. So, if you're wondering kung paano magpa-exam, paano tayo magbibigay ng assessments, paano tayo magbibigay ng formative and summative assessments sa mga students, so maganda yung Canvas dito. Sa next webinar natin, so for the September 26 webinar, please attend uli, guys, because i-discuss doon how to do or how to utilize the quiz engine of Canvas for assessments. Okay? So doon po siya talaga ituturo. Yung parang isa sa mga, nakita ko kasi isa sa mga challenges during our Menti Word Cloud is how to assess, how to make assessments. Usually kasi sa Google Classroom, ang pwede lang natin gamiting assessment ay Google Forms. Google Forms is okay, Google Forms is good, but sometimes it tends to be very limited. Lalo na kung ang subject natin is mathematics and science. Okay? Kasi very useful ang Google Forms quiz application. Like for instance, ang subject natin ay something like in line with social sciences. O kaya something in like with sciences na hindi computational, like biology. Yan. Very, very good ang Google Forms for that. However, medyo hindi siya maganda. Ang Google Forms is not really that good kung ang subject natin ay calculus, kung ang subject natin ay physics. So that's why yung Canvas na may very good quiz engine, so i-discuss siya sa next part ng ating webinar, no? So yung physics part, yung part 2 ng ating webinar series, doon ituturo how to use Canvas, for assessment. The problem in Canvas is it's not as easy as Google Classroom. Okay? So it takes some time. It takes for a while to get used to it. Pero once na ma-master mo siya, it's very, very easy, So to design a course, to design a subject, okay, in this one. So napakaganda nito for designing. Kaya lang medyo mahirap siyang matutunan na gamitin. You need some training for this. Okay? And yan, the sign up process can be a little hard kasi hindi siya kagaya ng Google Classroom na basta may Gmail ka, okay na. So yung sign up process niya takes some problems, lalo-lalo na kasi free for teachers lang siya. So maraming gumagamit, So that's why sometimes the Canvas is having a hard time catering the registration of the students. So na-experience namin yun. Kailangan kasi mag-email yung Canvas sa students natin para ma-enter sila eh. And sometimes matagal mag-email yung Canvas until such time na parang the students really need to sign up again. And sometimes nalilito sila sa process. Pero yun lang yung mga little nuances for that. But again, this is a very good alternative for Google Classroom if you have the liberty to use this. And pwede rin naman na kagaya ng ginagawa namin, Google Classroom yung ginagamit pero Canvas yung ginagamit for assessments. And of course, no, one important thing other than the LMS is the virtual classroom, no? So Google Meet, no, ito yung pinaka sikat among the different virtual classroom because this is easily accessible and free, no, for 60 minutes up to 100 participants. And according sa research natin, moderate mobile data consumption lang ang nagagamit ng Google Meet. However, Google Meet, yung free version, and I think yung ano din, no, Google Suite version niya, hindi siya nakapag-implement ng virtual background feature innate. So maybe you can install some plugins, but sometimes those plugins are not really that compatible. So hindi siya kagaya ng Zoom, no, na ginagamit natin na meron tayong virtual background. Why virtual background is important? Sometimes it's very important, lalo na kung ayaw natin ma-expose yung nasa bahay natin. Maybe kasi we can be yung personal privacy natin is ma-compromise, no? Kung hindi tayo gagamit ng virtual background. No, so it's highly suggested that you use virtual background when you present, no? In a presentation. Okay? So Zoom is also one of the go-to virtual classroom na meron tayo. So the interface is very easy to use, no? So napansin nyo naman, very intuitive. And marami tayong features, no, ideal for virtual classroom setup, such as virtual background, meron tong innate whiteboard, and we also have annotations here kung saan ito yung PowerPoint presentation ko, pwede natin tong drawingan by annotation. This is also free, no, up to 100 participants. Kaya lang good only for 40 minutes. Okay? And I think it's really it's not advisable din naman na sobrang haba ng synchronous session natin with students. So tingin ko yung 40 minutes can be manageable. Okay? So you can make it unlimited pero may konting payment na, no? Like yung Zoom na ginagamit natin today, so may konting payment siya, no, for that. Another thing is the high data consumption. Okay, so it's higher compared to the other virtual classrooms na meron. So another alternative that you can use is the Discord, no? So if you're familiar with that, traditionally ginagamit ang Discord for communication in online games, no? So sa mga naglalaro ng online games, no? So if you want to communicate with the ones that you're playing with, so Discord ang ginagamit, no? Kaya nga yung symbol ng Discord no, it's like a controller, no, for games. So ang maganda sa Discord is it has now a screen share feature. So may screen share na ang Discord ngayon, so kaka-update lang niya. And ang kagandaan, it can be used for unlimited time, and yung participants as well is hindi siya limited up to 100. Okay? Ang kagandaan dito is minimal data consumption lang, no? So hindi siya kasing laki ng Google Meet and Zoom. So very ideal sa mga students natin na mobile data lang ang ginagamit. Okay? Ang disadvantage naman niya is hindi tayo pwede rito mag-camera, no? So wala siyang camera. It's only voice, no? Unless you will configure a streaming setup, okay, which is medyo kailangan mo na ng konting training, no, kung paano siya gagawin. Okay? So sa isang Discord channel, you can mute the students, you can prevent them from unmuting themselves, and parang malaki ang control mo. And if you're really into, if you want to really use this, pwedeng dito mo i-deploy yung course mo as well, no? So meron siyang parang very similar siya sa MS Teams, no? If you know the Microsoft Teams, which is another hindi naman siya LMS, no? Pero pwede siyang gamitin as LMS, no? Yung MS Teams, no? If you're familiar with that. If your school has an access to MS Teams, I know you're familiar with that na. So yun yung ganun yung Discord. So next is, kung mapapansin nyo, no, during the lecture video, so we have the virtual calculator, no? So this is a great tool to teach students on how to use calculators. Even though ang subject natin is calculus, which is sometimes we don't allow the students to use calculators, di ba? Pero sa physics, you cannot go away with calculators, di ba? So ang hirap mag-physics nang walang calculator, right? So this is a great way, no, this is a great tool to teach students on how to use calculator. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, no, during dun sa demo lecture natin, nakikita ng audience or ng students natin kung ano mismo yung pinipindot natin sa calcu. Okay? Tapos, meron pa siyang keylag, guys, na pwede nating palabasin kung saan makikita ng students yung mga mismong key na pinindot natin. Okay? So this is great no for teaching STEM or engineering students, no? Kunyari ang students natin will take up engineering o yung mga students natin will under the STEM branch, okay? It's a very ideal tool na gamitin para sa kanila. So this one it is made by Casio, no? So it has free 90 days trial and it can be downloaded through this link. Okay? So, maybe I can share the link as well dun sa ano natin, no? Maybe later sa chat, I will be sharing the link of the how can you download it. Okay? So, 90 days trial. After the 90 days, unfortunately, you need to pay for the license. Pero ang suggestion ko, within the 90 days, you can actually, kung gagamitin mo siya sa asynchronous, so you can record your videos in advance within the 90-day trial period, tapos pwede na siya. I mean, yun dapat yung originally na plan ko pero I decided to purchase it na lang kasi lagi ko naman siyang ginagamit no kapag nagtuturo ako. Yan. Kaya lang medyo mahal yung ano niya no, parang kapresyo na rin ng ano no. Siguro half the price of the original calculator, no? Okay, so next is the Geogebra. Yeah, this is my favorite because this is a very powerful and free education technology tool that lets you graph functions and equations. Okay, so one problem ko during the face-to-face classes is I'm not really good, no, in drawing graphs, no. So ironic, no, because I'm an engineer in in my profession, no. So I'm a licensed electronics engineer. Although, yeah, I'm an educator as also. Pero ironic na I'm not really good in drawing graphs, no? Oo, so nahihirapan ako mag-drawing ng graph in class. Okay, so kasi ano no, I don't know, medyo mahirap mag-drawing ng lines, mag-drawing ng ganyan. So in this setup ngayon, it takes GeoGebra is free. Okay, and it takes advantage of the graphing tools. Like in this case, no, ginrap ko si y equals x squared, tsaka ginrap ko si x equals y squared. Ayan, kita na siya. Okay, ito yung graph niya. So mas madaling ma-appreciate kasi ng students, guys, kapag nakikita nila yung actual graph, no? Okay, so halimbawa gusto mong graph yung y equals ln of x, pwede dyan. Okay, makikita nila yan dyan. Okay, this is great for teaching integral calculus. Pagdating nyo doon sa topics na ano, no? Sa topic na kunin mo yung area under the curve o kaya yung volumes of solid of revolution. So it's very, very useful, no? Yung GeoGebra. So, paano po ma-access yung GeoGebra? Nasa Google lang siya. You just type GeoGebra. Tapos yung first na lalabas doon, ayun na siya. Okay? And maybe I can share the link later on as well. And finally, no, this is the last educational technology tool that I suggest that you use. Okay, ito naman is parang you can use this for recitation. Remember, guys, no, in my experience, it's very hard to force. Okay, it's very hard to force the students to recite. Okay, it's very hard for them to recite, guys. Okay, in the synchronous session. So mahirap pong ano no, mahirap po silang sabihan na ano no, okay, ito yung question ko, mag-recite ka. Ayan. Sometimes some of them are very shy and some of them takes a long time to respond. Okay? Yung iba pa nga nababasa ko, ano they will just they will just fake that their connection is intermittent at the moment just to escape recitation. And it's not really ideal, no? Kaya lang syempre, we cannot get away with recitation, right? So we cannot get away with recitation. So kailangan talaga natin 'yun. So that's why I want to share to you this educational technology tool which is the Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is a video sharing platform where students can share their recorded video in response to a certain question or topic. So this is for my class. So I'm teaching differential equations. Okay, so the next subject sa calculus, ito yung sabi ko, tell something about yourself. In 90 seconds, introduce yourself, tell something you're passionate about, a hobby or a dream, and what are your expectations in this subject. So you just need this join code and share it to them. If punta sila sa flipgrid.com, enter lang nila tong join code na to, and they'll be able to share their response. So pwede natin itong gamitin, like for example, instead of doing a board work, like for example, solve this equation. So ang gagawin lang nila, they will use their smartphones, they will shoot their hands, okay? Kunan nila yung kamay nila habang nag-e-explain, okay, kung paano isolve yung problem, and then they will just upload this to Flipgrid. Kasi ikaw naman, ito yung view ng teacher kasi, may kita mo yung mga students, no? Tinakpan ko yung mga pangalan at ano nila, no? mga mukha nila. Okay? So, pwede ko siyang i-view dito tapos checkan ko kung tama yung mga sinabi nila. Pwede rin kasing bigyan 'to ng feedback 'no, kung makikita niyo and comment as well. Okay? So, tingnan niyo 'no. So, tapos makikita din 'to ng buong class o pwede mo naman ding i-set na hindi kaagad siya makikita ng buong class. So, ito nakita 'to ng buong class. Tingnan niyo marami silang mga views 'no. So, they interact with each other, they view each other response. So, this is very good 'no para sa ating mga students because this is very similar to the popular app na TikTok, no? Yan, no? So, sa mga familiar with TikTok, no? So, di ba, gustong-gusto ng mga students natin yun, no? So from time to time, I see my students posting or uploading their TikTok videos. So parang TikTok din to eh, no? Kasi maikli lang siya. Tapos you're gonna shoot yourself and you're gonna upload. Okay? So pakita ko yung sample ng Flipgrid, no? So let me unshare the screen first and let me share screen ng Flipgrid. So how to access Flipgrid? Just simply flipgrid.com. Okay? So this is the Flipgrid submission of Ma'am Colleen, no? Another founder of Let's Learn Incorporated. So, yan. Makikita niyo no? So parang TikTok video siya. Yan si Ma'am Colleen. So naglagay siya ng picture ng pusa. I don't know kung ba't siya naglagay.
Hello, I'm Mom Colleen and I like orange and cats.
Okay, yun lang, no? Okay, napakaganda, di ba? Anyway, yes, that's it guys, no? So, pwede natin siya gamitin sa math, no? Instead of doing board works, so we can use Flipgrid because it's like TikTok, no? Parang kung tawagin ko nga yan ay educational TikTok, eh, no? Kung tawagin ko siya ay educational TikTok, no? So, yan yung sample ng TikTok natin. Ay, TikTok tuloy ng Flipgrid, no? Na pwede natin gamitin for our students. So, to access Flipgrid, just go to flipgrid.com. So, it's free, no? You just need a Google account, no? So, Gmail account. You just signed up as an educator. Yan. So, ganun lang. Okay. So, kamusta naman guys? Okay pa naman, no? So, I hope that you've been learning, no? So far sa ating webinar.